Dutton, thank you for your time.
My pleasure.
More than ever, this nation needs a tough cop. Are you the man for the job?
Well, I believe that I am, and I believe that the public wants leadership and they want a leader who can make the tough decisions in our country's best interest to support families, to support small businesses, to those elements that would speak against our values, our way of life. I believe very strongly we're the best country in the world and we should be prepared to stand up and to defend it, and that's how I've conducted myself during my time in public life.
Well, I just want to take you in a different direction, if I might, because everywhere we go, there is legitimate talk about the cost of living. And people think of that in terms of the supermarket and the Bowser and the electricity bills. And we all know that has gone woefully in the wrong direction under Labor, and the figures are there. Can I just ask you, though, about the real meaning of those words, cost of living? You see, you've got children. I don't know whether they're talking about the beach or the football or the next party, because the kids I talk to, their heads are filled with the notion of racism, that we're a racist country, and all that will end if we vote yes to the voice. I mean, is this a cost our children should pay to be made to feel we live in a racist country? How do you, as Peter Dutton, turn that around?
Well, I think it's outrageous, and I think it's something that we need to call out. Sarah Henderson, our Shadow Education Minister, I think gave a great speech last week in relation to this. Our kids shouldn't be going to schools to be turned out as disciples of a woke ideology and agenda. They're there to learn, and they're there to understand our history so that they can not make the mistakes of history, that they can celebrate the good things that have taken place in our country's history and world history, so that they can contribute to our country in a way that will continue to see stand proud in the world. But you're right, Alan. I mean, my kids are now, Becca's 21, Harry's just finished year 12, first year at uni, and Tom's in year. The reality is that the kids are being indoctrinated with the national curriculum, or at least that it's interpreted. And a lot of teachers who in private would and have the same conversation you and I are having now, and when you speak to them, they're confused because they're being pumped with information and they're being told to ignore the good. We're confusing children, we're complicating their world. When you see a spike in presentations in adolescents across the country at the moment, it's just as a result of COVID and being locked down. I think it's also because they're getting an agenda that is not in their best interest.
No doubt about it. My apologies to the viewers too. There's a bit of a difficulty with the pictures here, but at the same time we can hear his voice and his message, and that's the main thing. Peter Dutton, I interviewed Donald Trump Jr. last week and repeated to him his father's words about America, and it applies to us, that seeing everything through the lens of race, he said, is a Marxist doctrine, that we're a wicked and a racist nation, and that young children are complicit in oppression. Our entire society must be radically reformed. Now, can I put to you that this is the real cost that young people living today are facing? They're brainwashed that this nation is racist. I mean, President Trump said that this stuff, quote, critical race theory, is being forced into our children's schools, it's being imposed into workplace training, it's being deployed to rip apart friends, neighbours and families. Peter Dutton, this is going on now in this debate about the voice. You say no, and you're a racist, but the people who want to put race into the Constitution are the heroes of the hour. How do I work that out? How do young people make sense of that?
Well, Alan, I think this is why you're seeing the polling trend the way it is at the moment, because a silent majority, people who have just a greater deal of common sense than, frankly, the Prime Minister does, they're working it out. They know that they're being starved of the detail. They know that when they see the ads for the voice on television, when it doesn't actually mention the voice, that, hang on, there's something to see here. And I'm not going to be told that because I'm asking for the details so that I can make an informed judgment about whether I support the voice or not, that somehow I'm a racist or that my world view is completely unacceptable to you, or being shouted down by Noel Pearson or Anthony Albanese or Linda Burney or somebody else. I just don't think that it's productive. And I think the complete ignoring of our British history, settlement, the civilisation that we have developed, our democracy, our freedom of voice, of choice, the value of the individual, that can't be stifled or denied.